So after that, what do you guys want me to like say? Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today is a very big day. For those of you who are new here, my name is Jacob Williams. I'm a professional music producer and composer. We're finally moving on to another artist, another album. I have not heard any CHARLI XCX release. The only song I heard was her feature on Fancy way back in the day. Also 360 for work purposes, but I only heard like the chorus and like one of the little breaks and stuff. And again, I wanted to touch base on the Lorde situation. We're going to probably do a dissection video on Lorde's first album, Pure Heroine, at some point on this channel. I don't know when. I'm still figuring that out. So once I get sort of the structure down on how I want to do that, lots of those are going to be coming because there's a lot of music that I like and that I'm already familiar with that I'd love to sort of do some sort of breakdown on. So once we figure that out, I'm going to do that first for that series. So you have my promise. It's happening. Thank you guys for all the engagement, all the love, all of the things that you guys have recommended to me. This process, this whole first time listening, it's sort of opening my mind to other music. I'm finding that I'm even using techniques that I'm hearing in some of this new music and some of my latest productions and some things that I'm working on where I just need like a little bit of inspiration. I sort of call back to some of these things that I'm hearing in a lot of these really great albums, especially the things that we've been listening to from Lorde. And hopefully with this album, I have literally seen this album everywhere. When it came out, it was almost unavoidable. The only reason why I didn't listen to it is because I was really busy. I had a lot of jobs at the time this album was coming out, and whenever I get in sort of my moods where I'm working on a lot of songs and there's just a lot going on in my wheelhouse, I can't really sit down and listen to new stuff. So that's what's so great about these First Listen Friday segments, is I'm able to sort of breathe, relax, take some time, listen to something new, and sort of tell you guys what I'm hearing. So it's a win-win for both of us. And again, I'm really excited to check this out. This album, from what I've seen, is just so iconic. It's even inspired other artists to start pursuing a style like this, I believe. And as you can see, I have 360 saved here. I had to use that for a job, and I remember seeing some sort of breakdown, and I want to say A.G. Cook did production on this. For those of you who don't know, A.G. Cook is considered the father of hyperpop. A.G. Cook has pretty much started this style and this movement in pop music, and without those works, and without, I think Sophie was also an originator of hyperpop. Please correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I want to say A.G. Cook and Sophie are sort of the goats of hyperpop. Because of this sort of genre push, we've had a lot more experimentation in pop music, and it's been very refreshing. Again, I was kind of late to the hyperpop bandwagon. I didn't sort of hop on it until 100 gecs surfaced around, I think it was COVID times. And I was immediately kind of allured by this just strange yet awesome and catchy sound. But we're going to see what CHARLI has in store here, because according to the poll that you guys voted on, and again, 79 votes, that's incredible. Thank you guys so much for helping me sort of pick a direction in terms of where I wanted to take these sort of videos or video segments. I see a lot of people rooting for Magdalena Bay. FKA Twigs, I probably put the wrong album on here. I think FKA has another album that you guys really want me to check out, so I'm gonna probably do a poll later and sort of swap this album with that one. But Florence and the Machine was like way ahead of BRAT, and then BRAT sort of overshadowed it, and they were kind of doing this for a while. They were like in front of each other, and then the other one, they've just been fighting each other on this poll since you guys have been voting. And now we're at a point where I'm filming and BRAT is the winner. Let's go ahead and dive into 360. I think I got all my stuff working. And again, I've heard this song before, but only once. It was just for ear reference, and I had to listen to like the chorus. There was like a specific break that happened, and I had to do a similar thing in this job that I was working on. So we're just going to dive in. We're going to see what this album sounds like. I know what to expect, but I also don't know. We got 15 tracks. Let's just jump right in. Let's start with 360, track 1. That was it. The one thing that has stuck with me from this song was the little vocal refrains at the end. And they're all auto-tuned and panned. I have heard some sort of method that someone made me aware about is CHARLI is very particular about how their vocals are processed. I've been told that they're very sort of creatively involved with when Autotune gets applied and when it isn't. So I'm going to be listening for that on this album. It's probably going to be very hard for me to hear, but let's keep going. We got a lot going on. So those analog synthesizers sound great. We also have these sort of rising ones coming up in the pan in the stereo field. Very nice. And then we also have like sound effects like the camera flash. Again, it bops. It's awesome. I love it. Let's get to the chorus.
Yeah, 360. When you're in the mirror, do you like what you see? Bumping that beat. 666 with a princess streak. I'm everywhere. I'm so Julia.
I love, and again, it's rough because sometimes when I talk about this stuff, I feel like it's hard for others to relate to it when I'm talking about it. I love hearing all the effects on the mix bus, all of the reverb, all of the spatial effects on the voice keep scooping back down as if they're not there. The break is over. So the beat's going, the vocals are going, there's effects on the vocal, and then all of a sudden there's no effects, or there's very minimal. There's probably tuning and compression, but the reverb and the echo and all that just stop. They completely cut. And that's a lot of like automation. I'll put some pictures up of what automation is, or I'll explain it. But there's a lot of automation happening on here, sort of telling the software, hey, we want effects. Nope, we don't. Hey, we want effects. No, we don't. And that kind of adds a lot of movement in such a small moment, because this song is only 2 minutes long. So we have to make it as entertaining as possible. And I think that's kind of the vibe that CHARLI's going for. You gonna jump if AG made it. That's right. I don't know if this was in the intro, so correct me if this is incorrect, but I think there's like a new synth coming in the middle. It's like beep, 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 beep. Instead of the 808 doing the pum rhythm, they just did it with the vocal, which I thought was really cool. Yeah. I love how spacious this song sounds, but then it's not. It sounds very flat too when it comes to the reverb. And that's because of that automation thing that we were talking about, where the effects sort of come out and then they go away. Very genius, very awesome. I love how much like dynamic it adds to the mix of the song. And again, that was only 2 minutes, but it felt like we were just going up and down in the dynamics on this song. So I can definitely see why that's a hit. It's catchy and it's also short. What I've found in my production career is when you have short songs, but they're really, really, really catchy, it makes people want to play them more. It makes people want to come back. So if you just skip the bridge, if you just go like verse, chorus, you could probably do a bridge. Don't do one and just do like another verse and then another hook and just outro. That's kind of become like the TikTokification formula, if you guys have ever heard about that. People usually talk about it in a very negative way. I don't really see anything wrong with it. It's a choice. We all make choices in music. And it causes people to want to listen to the song more because they want to hear the catchy thing again. So it's genius. I loved it. Loved hearing it again. Again, I only heard like a couple parts here and there while I was working. Unfortunately, I wanted to check out the album, but we wouldn't be here if I did. So let's move on to track 2, Club Classics.
Right now. It's like when I go to the club, I wanna hear this club classics. Club classics.
CHARLI's vocal, unless that's a sample, but CHARLI's vocal is being used like a percussion instrument. It's like before the hi-hat comes in, it's being used as the hi-hat on like a sampler pad. That's just so awesome. But again, now that we're over that hump and we're into the usual club beat, I'm expecting the song to stay there. But the music you all have shown me has proven to do otherwise.
Club classics. Club classics. Club classics. When I go to the club, I wanna hear those club classics. Club classics. Club classics.
Oh, I feel like my brain is like opening. I feel like I'm all of a sudden in like a PS1 or PS2 video game. Like it's like a soundscape underneath everything. So you have like the booming club beat, and then the soundscape is like sort of coming up underneath the vocal performance. Very cool. And then now we're having like trap drums lead into the next section.
To me, I wanna dance to AG, I wanna dance with George, I wanna dance to Sophie, I wanna dance to Hub Mo, play the track fast, not so. Yeah, I wanna be blinded by the lights, lights, lights. Put your hands up and dance, yeah, I'm gonna dance all night, that's right. All night, never gonna stop till the morning light. Put your hands up and dance, yeah, I'm gonna dance all night, that's right. All night, never gonna stop, never gonna stop.
I had stuff in my mouth, so I couldn't exclaim when that happened. There's dubstep in the mix. That is a wobble bass. That is an FM wobble bass synth straight from dubstep. Awesome. I mean, I guess if you have AG Cook on the beat, you should expect it, right? But I didn't. And I guess if the song is called Club Classics, you get a little bit of house and you get some dubstep and bass music with it too.
Dance to me. When I get to the club, yeah, I wanna dance to me. I wanna dance to me.
Hold on, stop. There's like her voice going up in pitch and then going back down, and then there's like a voice being used as like a pumping sort of sample underneath everything. Maybe it's a synth. We're going to find out in a second here, but my sound design ears are just on extreme overload right now. Okay. Result of if somebody took like everything they like under the EDM spectrum and put it in one song. Like if they took their 3 favorite subgenres of the EDM spectrum and just put it into one song, it would be this. So well done if that was the goal, because I'm hearing dubstep, I'm hearing juke, I'm hearing fidget house, I'm hearing tech house, I'm hearing even a little bit of breaks in there. That's that thing from the intro. And now we're deeper. Now it's going deeper. Oh. Those wobbles are complete, utter insanity. Like the amount of modulations that are happening right there, like it's going under and then it's coming up. And that's the thing. I feel like sometimes, especially in the dubstep subgenre, if any of you guys are a part of the EDM or bass music community, you might know what I'm talking about. I feel like sometimes producers think you have to overcompensate with like loud noises, or you have to sort of apply a lot of textures. No, sometimes you can just have a very smooth, very clean wobble bass, but because of how it's rhythmically bouncing off of everything, it sounds very nice, sounds very well mixed, doesn't have too much compression on it, and it works with the rest of the elements in the mix. That was very enjoyable. That is definitely a favorite. I liked it right away because I was just like, wow. Didn't expect it to, because the wobbles come in about halfway through the song. Yeah, let's keep the pace going because this is a really fast-paced album. Let's go to track 3, Sympathy is a Knife. Just based on the title alone, I'm feeling like this might have a bit more songwriter elements to it. But if it's another banger, I'm not going to complain. This is why I love Autotune right here. So I am a huge advocate for using vocal effects. It doesn't matter if it's okay, if you use these effects, you're using them as a choice. It's whether or not like you're not like the most virtuoso of a singer. You know, it's modern times now. It's okay to use these kinds of tools. I just want to throw that out there as a disclaimer. These are just modern vocal tools that we use to make music with. I love that Autotune can be used to evoke like emotions of like pain, but also just like a good time. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It does something to me. I don't know. It always has. Ever since I heard the first song I've ever heard that had autotune on it, or like noticeably had autotune on it, it's just has this like curve to it. It has this like flow to it. It makes everything sound smooth. The way that it's applied on the intro to this song is exactly why I like it, because just the amount that they put there is perfect. Any more, it would be too much. Any less, it would feel like you need a little bit something to just get the curvature of that note right. And it felt so good to hear that. I don't know. I don't know how to even describe how that made me feel right now. I'm just going to keep going. I'm sorry. What instrument is that? Like, is that the drum layer doing that? Is that the bass doing that? I love how wide it sounds. Ugh, it gives me goosebumps. It gets me pumped. That sounded like a nice mix of modern, like, if you took what was great about modern hyperpop, but then also gave it a nice dose of 2000s. I'm going to pop up some examples on the screen because I can't even think about it right now. And later in editing, I'm going to be able to think more clearly about it. But right now, that just completely shocked me how well blended that was. It just felt like this big wall of bass and just painful emotional vocals over it. Oh, wow. I would kill to hear that live on a like big PA. Oh, that would be so satisfying. Love the way that the voice, like her vocals rhyme so well right there, and they're blended so well into the beat. And you also have these like, they sound like strings just going boop, boop, boop over the top of the beat. So there's not like, what I love about it is I feel like at points in even my musical career, this is the type of like beat that I was trying to make, and I just couldn't do it right. And I think because I put too many layers in like the middle of the mix, so my voice doesn't really come out that well. Or artists that I've been working for, like their voice just doesn't come out that well because I try to stuff too much into the mid mix. It's kind of just a me thing that I've been actively working on for the last few years. But right here, it sounds like there's just so much low end, but it allows Charli's voice to just kind of just slam out of the mix or just go right soaring in the middle. And I mean, the melodic elements, it really only sounds like there's a couple. It only sounds like there's really like 3 layers of just playing melodic synth or something like that. And they're really in the back. The only real one I'm noticing is that string and maybe like a little synth arp in the background. But right now there's a lot of nice like vocal room for her to breathe or to shine and kind of do her thing. And I can really feel it here on the listening.
I wanna buy a gun. Why? I wanna shoot myself. In love, I'd say that there was a God if they could stop this wild voice tearing me apart. I'm so apprehensive now.
Synth, the main synth we've been hearing throughout this whole entire time is like kind of like an acid techno synth. It's very like it's very stabby, but it's like if you just took a synth pop Juno lead and just like cranked the saturation up on it, added just a bunch of compression and just sank it. But they keep bringing it back and it just sounds so good. I don't care how much processing is on it. This thing is just caked, but it sounds so good in this mix.
They break up quick as I couldn't even breathe if I tried. Why I couldn't even grip my teeth and lie. I feel all these feelings out of control. All this sympathy is just a lie. All this sympathy is just a lie. All this sympathy is just a lie.
Oh, it came back. I thought it was gonna end. Wow. I mean, I feel like a fool for not checking this out sooner. I mean, I'm glad I didn't because now I'm experiencing it here with you guys. But I really wish that I checked this out way sooner, way before I did, because I would have learned a lot from listening to this album. And I think I just found my new like booking it on the treadmill song at the gym, because that is just wow. Like the pacing of it, the atmospheric vocals in the back, the way everything just kind of stabs you. I mean, Sympathy is a Knife. This whole song felt like just a digital, like noisy knife. But so far, I'm feeling like this entire album will shock me, because it already has. Let's go on to track 4. I might say something stupid.
I might say something stupid. Talk to myself in the mirror. Go so cold. I'll go so cold. 'Cause I don't know if I belong here anymore.
Really quick, because I haven't stopped yet. The song is almost over. It almost feels like a nice interlude, kind of like that One Lord song that we were listening to in one of my other reactions. I really, really like that. I feel like this song was almost written and recorded like at the piano, because the way the chord progression descends into the leading tone or into the sort of diminished chord that's about to hit the tonic right after it, which we just heard. I wasn't able to pause like right on time, but it feels like this was written and recorded with a piano player or the producer playing piano just normally. And then the piano parts were almost doubled or replaced by synth takes, because it's a synth playing it, but it doesn't sound like they were listening to a synth sound while they were playing it. And sometimes that's a good way to evoke different sounds out of your song that you maybe don't expect. Maybe having like almost kind of like writing your vocal line on guitar. It might sound a certain way on guitar, and then when you go to sing it, you're like, oh, wow, that feels different, or that is a different thing that I can use. It's the same thing. Sometimes as a producer, I'll write different melodies on just a normal piano sound that, is just traditional piano. But I'll like switch it over to horns, or I'll switch it over to a synth, or I'll switch it over to a soundscape or something, just to get something different out of it without having to actually record it the same way. And I believe that's probably what they did on this song, is just recorded a normal piano pop ballad and just swapped out the sounds, because you can almost hear what sounds like just a traditional piano sad pop kind of chord progression right under it. And it's super genius. It's a really great technique.
I'm a mess and play the role. Used to live just for the party. Door is open. I'm famous but not quite. But I'm perfect for the background. 1 foot in a normal life. I go so cold.
I really love when performers, even with Autotune, can make their voice sound super emotional. Like they lean up into their falsetto, they lean down into their other vocal techniques, like their chest voice or their mixed. This is mostly falsetto and then just Charlie's regular singing voice. It sounds great. It felt emotional. I didn't expect a very emotional cut on this album. Let's move on to track 5, Talk Talk.
Looking at you, putting holes in your head. We've been talking for months, but never in the same room.
So we have our normal noises happening in the middle, right? I don't really have to address those. I really like that thing happening in the pan, like in the right and the left. And I really like it because it's very reminiscent of like an 80s pop sort of, or even an 80s pop revival guitar chug, like dun, 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 dun. A good example of a band or a group who does that a lot is The Midnight. They're a newer synth pop band, and they emulate a lot of inspiration from 80s and 90s pop. And you can kind of hear that. It's got like the typical like 1984, 1985 sort of guitar pedals on it.
Approach ya, but we've been keeping this a secret. And you're surrounded by friends, and I'm just wondering what they know. I wish you'd talk, wish you'd talk, wish you'd talk, wish you'd just talk to me. I wish you'd talk, wish you'd talk, wish you'd talk, wish you'd just talk to me. I think you're getting close.
I love what they're doing with the sort of, so before I explain, usually when you're working on songs, at least when I do, I kind of group up all my instruments into things called buses. And what buses are is they're like groups of instruments. So you'll make one for all your drums, you'll make one for all your basses, your guitars, your synthesizers, everything that's going to be in your song, you put into a bus so that it's all grouped together and you can sort of do one thing and it'll affect all your synthesizers, or you do one thing and it'll affect all your guitars, and so on. And it seems like right here they took everything that isn't drums or bass and put it into its own bus. So what they were able to do is do a thing called the tremolo effect, where it starts and stops rhythmically. And they did it leading into the chorus where it went like whoop, like, so this is the regular melody just going whoop, and then it went whoop, whoop, boom, stopped, and then the hook came in with a full instrumentation type of thing. And then it did it again, now coming out of the hook or leading into the post chorus. I have no idea what to expect next, but that was really cool.
You to the bathroom, but then I felt crazy. I'm feeling like I'm on fire, cause we've been keeping this a secret, and all your friends are still.
We got a riser.
And I'm just wondering what they know. I wish.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that tremolo that I was talking about earlier has changed its rhythm. Instead of just going womp womp womp, it's doing like womp, 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 like it's doing like a different kind of wobble effect, which is really great for a transition noise. And then we have like a typical like EDM sort of upriser sound effect, just going whoosh. And then one of my favorite noises in music, and it's not used very often. It was used a lot in the 90s and 2000s. You might remember it from like boy bands or just use, typical like 2000s or 1990s pop songs, the little like chime sound effect where someone's like kind of brushing across like a bunch of chimes. It's such a timeless like sound effect. It's not used nearly as much as I would like it to be, but it always makes me smile when I hear it, just because it's such a cheesy sound effect, but it works. So remember that thing I said at the beginning of this video that we're probably going to start doing some dissections on songs or albums? I definitely feel like we could do one for this song. As much as I'd love to do one for Sympathy Is a Knife, I don't think I'm actually even qualified to do that because of how good the production was on that song. But I really love what Charli's doing with her voice. It feels so emotional, and it also feels very polished, very pop, very top 40. I could picture this just soaring at some sort of stadium concert. Really, all the vocal performances are like that so far on this album, but I'm absolutely loving it. Let's see what surprises await us in this bridge.
Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. She just talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. She just talk to me, talk to me.
Wow.
She just talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. Talk to me in French, talk to me in Spanish, talk to me and you'll talk to you and say, hey, let's get out of here.
The way the whole song just feels like it's being like warped and filtered and cut apart and then warped and filtered again is so cool. I feel like they almost made like a B section to that song and then just used it to fade it out. Kind of like a very small sort of minor version of what we heard in that Chapel Roan song, The Subway, where you sort of make a new section of the song and then have that kind of trail the whole thing out. And what does that do? It makes me want to play it again and listen to it again because I want to hear the chorus again, and they didn't put the chorus in the end of the song. So very cool, very awesome. I'm saving that one too, guys. So far we're 5 for 5. All 5 tracks that I've listened to so far are saved, and yes, 360 still counts. I just saved it for work purposes earlier, but so far we're 5 for 5. Let's keep going on to Von Dutch. This feels great. This feels like a really just fun, like neon hyper pop glitched out like road trip somewhere, and I don't know where the destination is, but we're gonna find out. Track 6, Von Dutch. I don't know what that means, but Von Dutch.
It's okay to just admit that you're jealous of me. Yeah, I heard you talk about me, just a word on the street. You're obsessed and just confess it, put your hands up. It's obvious I'm your number one.
This is cool because we have like these sort of club like banger synths sort of writhing in between the headphones, and then Charli's voice is doing the same thing, like it's doing the same auto-tune kind of like repetitive sort of rhythmic flow, and then we have like one word, your number one, being duplicated for word emphasis so that we remember it. It sticks in our heads because it sounds different than the rest of the repetitions that are happening under it. Let's keep going.
It's alright to just admit that I'm the fantasy. You're obsessed and just confess it 'cause it's obvious.
That synth right there is very common in house music. I don't know the technical term for it. I've used it a couple of times from like Serum presets and stuff, but it's like when you take a synth and you take like one out of the 3 oscillators that are in it and you detune the absolute out of it, and you sort of add like a warble sort of phaser to it, but you detune it enough to where it's like dissonant and it like moves with each other. Like for example, in a chord, right? Let's say you have a chord and these 3 notes are supposed to go together. Let's say the middle one, instead of being where it's supposed to be to make it like perfectly harmonic with all the other notes that it's with, let's say it's like further down here. So instead of like, if your chord is C, E, G, let's say the E is like not D sharp because that would make it minor, but let's say it's like D or C sharp. That would feel very weird and very like kind of funky and like dissonant. That's kind of what's happening here, but in terms of synth and sound design. I already know like some of the lyrics to that chorus because of how simple it is, but it's effective. And from a sound design standpoint, that bass is so thick. I want to know how many layers are in that. I wish I could look at like the Logic session file for it or whatever DAW was used for this album. But I'm just hearing all this like thick bass, and this little whiny synth is popping up on the left and then spreading out towards the center of the mix and to the right in the left headphone.
It's okay to just admit that you're jealous of me. You're obsessed and just confess it 'cause it's obvious. I'm your number one. 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 You're number one. You're number one. You're number one.
There's a lot of techniques happening here that are very like from the EDM and like electronic dance music sort of production scene. There's a lot of like leaving stuff on repeat, like the I'm your number one vocal, and then letting it reverb over time, like with the automation thing we were talking about earlier, letting it sort of just expand with the effects and sort of open up the song leading into the next part what it's supposed to do, what buildups like this are supposed to do in songs is they're supposed to leave you wanting, leave you with anticipation, leave you going, all right, come on, like drop the beat already. Like I'm standing here waiting. That's the entire point of it, is to sort of leave you hanging in suspense. And it works very good on this song. It's very typical. Like, sure, you could sit here and go, oh yeah, I've heard this song before, but the way it's designed, the way it's packaged into such a small song, whereas like a lot of EDM bangers sometimes leave you maybe waiting a little too long, or sometimes they leave you sort of kind of just waiting, just a bit too much, or sometimes even the drop might be a bit too much. Everything is like perfectly mixed on this. Like, sure, it's a little dissonant, it's a little funky, it's a little like all over the place and a little sloppy, but it's very cleanly packaged and mixed, and I'm totally eating it up over here. I really loved the sort of cutting of the main vocal and the other stuff coming up, like everything, all the elements just sort of dancing and like trading places. Like number one started to sort of lose its rhythm, and then the other vocal would come in, and then it would pick rhythm back up, and then the other one would come in. And then same with the beat, it would start and stop and then keep going, keep your anticipation. It would stop for like a millisecond and then come back. Genius. Again, we're 6 for 6. Let's keep going. Track 7, Everything is Romantic. Got like a flute in the background. Has Charlie been hanging with Lord or something? Why do we got all these like world instruments? I feel like I'm playing Elder Scrolls or something right now.
Some white sheets with lace curtains. Capri in the distance. Bad tattoos on leather tan skin. Jesus Christ on a plastic sign. All in love again and again. Winding roads through manual drive. Bad tattoos on leather tan skin. Jesus Christ on a plastic sign. All in love again and again. Winding roads through manual drive.
I love these, like, the song just totally made me feel like it was just going to be the same thing. Like it was just going to be Charlie sort of rapping and singing over this like loop. And then it just smacks you in the face with these like Skrillex, very like just bass heavy beats, just smashing into each other with all the distortion and compression.
In the distance, in a place that can make you change. Fall in love again and again. Early nights and white sheets of lace curtains. Capri in the distance, in a place.
I almost love that it's like a drill beat almost, but instead of the sound dancing, because normally in drill what separates it from trap is the hi-hats, like the little ticky noises are kind of dancing. They're like on the offbeat a little bit. The kicks are on the offbeat. It's almost like a Jersey club kind of thing. It's like Jersey club mixed with drill mixed with hyperpop.
Everything is romantic. Oh.
What is this?
Everything is romantic. Oh. Everything is romantic. Everything is romantic. Oh.
So after that, what do you guys want me to like say? like after I've just heard all those noises, I feel like I almost just have to let this song specifically just speak for itself, because I literally cannot dissect that. I'm literally going to need a lot of time to just sit with it, because there was like lasers, there was like samples with reverb on it. Some didn't. There was some of those strings from the beginning coming back. There's obvious like hyperpop noises and drums and that trap drill Jersey club thing we were talking about. But what is Charlie on here? This is just incredible songcraft going on here. I can definitely feel why this album was just so impactful. Like, we just have to keep
On the stairs with the scooters, neon orange drinks on the beach. 4 generations make up a family. Early nights and white sheets with lace curtains. Pompeii in the distance, in a place that can make you change. Fall in love again and again. Early nights and white sheets with lace curtains. Pompeii in the distance, in a place that can make you change. Fall in love again and again. Fall in love again and again.
And I actually want to take a moment to acknowledge the lyrics. It seems like Charlie is listing things that are stereotypically romantic and then just crushing it all with the beat.
Fall in love again and again. Fall in love again and again. Fall in love again and again.
Vocoder.
Fall in love again and again. Fall in love again and again.
I didn't expect any vocoder use to be on here. I should have, but I was so caught up in like all the other effect choices that were being used on here. I didn't even think a vocoder would make its way into, especially this song with all the like ear candy we've already been given. A vocoder is sort of like a vocal processing unit. It can either be standalone or it can be with a keyboard. And what it essentially does is it transforms your voice into sort of this big wide harmonic. Like, it makes it so that your voice is being played through the chords that a keyboard is playing, essentially. Yeah, great place to put it because I didn't expect it.
Fall in love again and again. 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 Fall in love again and again.
I love the build-up it's making. The little like regular vocals in the background too. There's like a little low synth bass sort of kind of doing its thing under it, just going whoa, whoa. And this is just my personal opinion of this album so far. So when I was first listening to 360 and Club Classics, the album felt like Charlie just showed up for a weekend after hearing all these beats pre-made. and just like my impression of the album at that point was this is really good, but it felt like Charli just showed up, did her thing, they mixed it, mastered it, and just posted it, and that was that. But now that I'm hearing like songs like this, there were clear conscious decisions of, hey, I want my voice to do this at this point. I want to do some more ambient thing at this point. I want to be more straightforward on this point. There are so many choices happening here in the span of like a 2-3 minute song. And it's just absolutely blowing my mind right now. And the one thing I also want to clarify is, to some people, they might listen to this and go, okay, well, it just sounds like a bunch of noise, or it sounds like a bunch of just random sounds picked for no reason. And my response to that would be, yeah, that is probably a valid hot take. That is probably a valid like opinion to have on music that sounds like this. But to people who really like sounds and like albums with a lot of sounds in them, and for some people who like some controlled chaos, this is where it's at. This is like my perfect pop record that I haven't discovered yet.
Sometimes.
Whoa. Almost played the next song without even needing to. Okay, so yeah, again, I think I said all there is to say about this one. That is also getting liked. I mean, this is a gold mine here. I'm literally going to be referencing this album for a bunch of stuff that I'm going to be working on going forward, because wow, I feel like a fool, guys. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. This album so far is very genius. There's a lot. It's like it does a very good job of embodying its own like style, and we'll touch more on that later when we're done, because we're only halfway through. Let's move on to track 8, Rewind.
Sometimes.
We're back to that 360 vibe. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have those rewindy noises happening, but we also, the vocal is shifting, it's pitch shifting, it's also like just enveloping, and different effects or knobs are like moving. And then you also have, when that's not happening, it's doing the same thing but on the synth. Because how cool is that? Something is constantly happening. You're not just singing over just a flat instrumental or piece of music. Like, the synth is working when you're not working. Does that make any sense? I hope I'm making sense right now, because I'm really trying to. Let's keep going.
Why's my face shape? Nowadays I only eat at the good restaurants. But honestly, I'm always thinking about my weight. I used to never feel embarrassed when I call out the pop. Would be cool to rewind.
Right after she said rewind, it like rewinded like a big, like the main like distorted like heavy synth bass thing that's happening with the beat during like the sort of dance breaks or beat drops. It rewinded that. It's totally cool because it helps to play on words. And I really like the whole concept of like rewinding and then just thinking about your life, like, wow, I used to do this, or I used to worry about this, and I used to do this, and now I'm in this place. Very cool to reflect. And I also I love how this is like a callback to that 360 sound. I hope we get more of that going into this, because it's just perfect place to take hyperpop. I mean, you could just hear all the influence, but also Charli is just doing something new and very like provocative, but also very like just very intuitive with the sound. Let's keep going. Got layers.
Used to burn CDs full of songs I didn't know. Used to sit in my bedroom putting polish on my toes. Recently
on this verse, what I've noticed, like what's great about it, I can't tell if the vocals are glitching or if there's like a glitch filter put on the vocals, but it's kind of like they are. I don't know. Like there's like a new noise happening. It's like a sputtery like bass like below everything. The synth layers are just top notch. I really hope the other albums you guys recommended to me have some sort of similar like just big production bed, because I can tell after this album I'm going to need more of that.
Sometimes I really think it would be cool to rewind. I used to never think about Billboard, but now
we have hi-hats and like, okay, like sure, we have hi-hats. It's to be expected because we got to progress the song, right? But now we have like a vocal doing the same rhythm underneath those hats. That's incredible.
I'm thinking again, wondering about whether I'd be cool to rewind. Sometimes
no more hi-hats. love that melody. I love that melody that's coming in right there. It's like a boop, 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 boop. It's just coming in so faintly through the production. Now the hi-hats are back. Oh. You're joking, right? Is 2010's EDM like making a comeback with albums like this? Because that was a direct callback to some of the stuff that I grew up listening to and that I really liked when it came to production. And I'm hearing it in a CHARLI XCX album. Like that stuff that like those noises, just the very wobbly basses, the very lightly like trance dubstep. I mean, I guess now it's hyperpop, right? Type of noises, like just those sweet, like major minor key melodies. That's what I fell in love with when I started producing. And it feels so good to be hearing those used in a different way on this album for a pop audience. Like how cool is that? All right, let's keep going.
Sometimes I just wanna rewind, wanna turn back time to a different time. Oh, sometimes I just wanna rewind, I just wanna rewind, I just wanna rewind. Press rewind. Yeah, press rewind.
I love songs, especially pop songs that just have so much in them, so much noise, so much like it has to serve a purpose, right? Because you can't just have noise there for no reason. And I feel like CHARLI and her producers really sat on this one and took a lot of time to go, what do we want where? They put a lot of time into organizing this record, and you can really feel it. Wow, I can't believe I'm saying this, but we're 8 for 8 now. Okay, moving on to track 9. So what? We're gonna find out. Love the synth pluck.
Always on my mind, every day, every night. Your star burns so bright. Why did I push you away? I was scared sometimes. You had a power like a lightning strike. When I'm on stage, sometimes I lie. Say that I love singing these songs you left behind.
Oh.
And I know you always said it's okay to cry. So I know I can cry, so I cry.
I think on this song particularly, what I was talking about in the beginning, where I think I overheard that CHARLI was saying that there's moments where the autotune not was turned off, but they control the amount of autotune that's being pumped through the voice. You could definitely hear it on here because it sort of fades out when she goes into her falsetto and very like emotional, like sort of encapsulating vocal type of technique right there. So whenever she goes into the falsetto, it feels like the retune speed on the autotune is sort of going down, and that allows for more of the genuine like human emotion to come through without the assistance of the autotune. And I'm suckering for it. This feels so nice to hear. It feels so good. Let's keep going.
Wish I tried to pull you closer. You pushed me hard, made me focus. Your words brutal, loving, truthful. I was petrified. You're a hero and a human. Track was done, I'd make excuses. You would say, come on, stay for dinner. I'd say no, I'm fine. Now I really wish I stayed. Always on my mind.
Wow. Can we talk about how the whole song opened up? The effects were building, the synths were building, the vocals were building, and then it just went radio filter, cone filter, and then into the next part. Loving it.
Every day, every night. Your star burns so bright. Why did I put you away? I was scared sometimes. You had a power like a lightning strike. When I'm on stage, sometimes I lie. Say that I love singing these songs you left behind.
I love how things are building. You hear that?
It's okay to cry. So I know I can cry, so I cry. Guilty feelings keep me fractured. Got a phone call after Christmas. Didn't know how I should act. I watched you dance online.
Wow, we've moved on to this part of the song where the sub bass is kind of carrying everything. Like it's a really low synth playing the main parts of the melody. So no more chords. We don't have all those sweet little synths that we had before. Now it's just this low bass as Charlie's sort of presenting more of the narrative. And I kind of like this feeling of like, this could be a song in the middle of the set, like between all the hype songs. Could be the one where the lights sort of die down and sort of come out in moments where the melodies are hitting and everyone in the crowd's just going like this. That's the vibe it's giving me, is just very like, this is the middle of the set kind of vibe when we're playing the ballad of the set. Because that's the vibe that the song's giving off, is like, this is probably one of the more emotional cuts on the album.
Your sounds, your words live on endless. When I make songs, I remember things you should just make it faster. Would you like this one? Maybe just a little bit. Always on my
I love the pitch modulation there.
every day, every night. You're still been so bright. When I don't put you away, I was scared sometimes. You had a power like a lightning strike. When I'm on stage, sometimes I lie. Say that I love singing these songs you left behind. It's okay to cry.
It's okay to cry. Who would have thought? Wow. Oh my God. Wow. Here I am, and I'm going to explain it in a second here. Here I am getting giving a very emotional sort of reaction to a CHARLI XCX song. So that sound that just played right there at the end. So background, one of the projects that got me into wanting to be a music producer and wanting to make music in the first place was the Scary Monsters and Night Sprites EP by Skrillex. And there's a song on there called With You Friends, Long Drive. That song has always held a very sweet place in my heart, because it showed, like, it was one of the first like EDM songs that I heard that actually had a very sort of emotional like break or an emotional pulse to it. More so, like, it wasn't just like it was nice to get through a whole album of like bangers and then to hear like a song like that. And that song has always had such an emotional tone to me. And there's a noise in the song where I want to say it's Sonny Moore himself doing a vocal line, like singing a vocal through his microphone and playing it on the keyboard, or it has like a lot of autotune or distortion or something on it, and it melodically sort of vibes to the music. I'm going to play a comparison next so you guys can understand what I'm saying, but that sound is so nostalgic for me, and it's so like, it hits me in such a spot where, especially after, you know, hearing what the song's about and sort of feeling the emotions in it, it definitely got me to that place very fast, just based off of hearing it, and then feeling the distortion and the modulating sounds just fade away into reverb. It was magic. It was absolute, just audible, very tangible, very well done magic. Let's move on to track 10, Girl, So Confusing.
It's so confusing sometimes to be a girl, 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 girl. It's so confusing sometimes to be a girl,
Oh,
girl, girl.
I love the chops. I love just the dip, dip, dip. It totally takes me back to like 2012, 2013. But it's like cleaner now, like because music and sounds have evolved so much now that like things just sound so clean and so like neatly processed.
Feel being a
Oh,
girl. How do you feel being a girl, girl? And I don't know, I'm just a girl, girl, girl. Yeah, I don't know if you like me. Sometimes I think you might hate me. Sometimes I think I might hate you. Maybe you just wanna be me. You always say let's go out, so we go eat at a restaurant. Sometimes it feels a bit awkward.
why? I don't know why the way that Charlie's singing or rapping this or whatever you want to call it, vocalizing this is just so funny to me. I don't know. It's like it's more humorous, even though I know the subject matter is like different, right? Like it's like getting mixed signals from someone that maybe you're dating or maybe you're talking to type of thing. But it's giving off this like humorous vibe to it for some reason. And I also really like there's this concept of duality that I talk about with my clients sometimes where sometimes in a song you have to have two things doing completely different things from each other. And the drums sound very softly played. Like they're on like a little 80s like Lindrum drum machine and they're just so soft. They're so just like they just sound like little drum hits. But the bass is so like crushed and distorted. It's running through probably a bit crusher or some sort of like really thick compression heavy distortion. So I don't know. That whole little bit was just really funny to me.
Say we're alike, they say we've got the same hair. We talk about making music, but I don't know if it's honest. Can't tell if you wanna see me falling over and failing, and you can't tell what you're feeling. I think I know
Oh,
how
yeah.
you feel. It's so confusing sometimes.
I love that the beginning of the song was like low key. Like it was just Charlie just kind of saying like the same thing in like one voice, maybe two. But now it's like panned and we got layers going on and we still have that really nice ear candy chop going.
To be a girl, 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 girl. It's so confusing sometimes to be a girl, girl,
Oh.
girl. You're all about right.
Whoa, hold on. We like scooped out the bass frequencies and now it's like a dubsteppy, like robo step, like transformer noise type of thing. And it's like swooping underneath everything. Like that's awesome.
Poems, but I'm about throwing parties. Think you should come to my party and put your hands up.
I think Charlie was going for like a very club, like club atmosphere album, but this is different to me. This is almost like its own thing. Like I feel like if you make songs like this, like at this point, you're copying BRAT. You're copying the aesthetic of BRAT because it's almost like it's just its own thing. Like I wouldn't even call it a hyperpop album at this point. Like I feel like the multitude of like influences that we have pouring into this album. You even have like rap, R&B, synth pop, dubstep, breakbeat, Jersey club. There's just so much going on, and I almost feel like they've like made their own style with this album.
I still wanna see me falling over and failing. At least we're closer to being on the same page.
Yeah, then we get these like transitions, like sound effects going into the last chorus.
It's so confusing sometimes to be a girl, girl. How do you feel being a girl? How do you feel being a
I almost love that this is like if you strip back all the noises and gave it like just normal instruments, right? Like if we just gave it like a 4-piece band, no processing, no production, no nothing. If we just gave this like, I don't know, take like 60s, 70s Jackson 5, or if we gave it like just a typical like 80s synth pop band behind it, it would still sound really cool because girl, dun, 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 like the groove of that vocal line is so catchy that it would just fit into any sort of like band lineup. Like some of these songs too, like not even this song, like some of these other songs would just fit. Like they would like just nicely sit in like a regular normal arrangement without all the noise and without all the hyper pop. Like I can picture just some like 70s funk band just jamming and it's like girl like I could just picture that. I don't know. My friends, we're 10 for 10 here. I have liked every single song on this album so far. Let's move on to track 11. I need water. Hold on. Let's move on to track 11, Apple. Okay. Hyper synth pop. Let's go, everyone.
I can see apple don't fall far from the tree, 'cause I've been looking at you so long now I only see me. I wanna throw
I hope this doesn't insult any of you guys. I am a huge Porter Robinson fan, and this song sounds kind of like new Porter Robinson, but way more like electro heavy, especially with the formant filter on the vocals.
the apple into the sky. Feels like you never understand me, so I just wanna drive to the airport, the airport, the airport. I guess the apple could turn yellow or green. I know there's lots of different nuances to you and to me. I wanna grow the apple.
Why does this song make me like happy? Like I could have swore I heard it somewhere before. Maybe someone showed me like a snippet of it or something, or maybe I heard it like just passively like on the internet or something. But like wow, like it's just got this, it feels like just this huge like dopamine rush of just happy sounds.
Keep all the seats, but I can't help it. Get so angry you don't listen. I leave to the airport, the airport, the airport, the airport.
Oh, Charlie, you are killing me with these falsettos. But again, not being that familiar with Charlie's vocal ability and sort of her journey as an artist, it's really hard to sort of discern if this is an improvement off of her past work or not. But I'm completely like in love with this song right now. I love, wow, what is happening? So I love the filters going up and then like it calms down, kind of like what happened on 360 and Club Classics. But it like, now we're hearing like breath effects and stuff for rhythmic purposes. That's awesome.
I'm gonna drive all night. I'm gonna drive all night. I think the apple's rotten right to the core. From all the things passed down from all the apples coming before. I spit the apple down symmetrical lines. So what I find is kinda scary. Makes me just wanna drive. I'm gonna drive all night. I'm gonna drive all night.
I had to just kind of let that musical experience just happen. I think we're having another Lord moment here. Who's cutting what vocal and where is it going and why is it rising up, and did it just become a whole new sound on its own? I'm gonna have to dissect this one too, guys. Like we're gonna have to have like a CHARLI XCX like dissection marathon at this point, because this is just incredible music.
Where you go when you're feeling alone, when you're feeling alone, yeah. I wanna know where you go when you're feeling alone, when you're feeling alone,
That has got to be one of the coolest, catchiest, most fun songs I have heard in like a really long time. I've literally never just been like blasted with just happy, like awesome. It's a very addictive kind of feeling. I love just all the calculated like sounds in here. And again, I could be completely wrong. Maybe everything was just sort of like thrown together randomly. I don't think so though. And I mean, sometimes that works for people. Sometimes in the words of Bob Ross, sometimes happy accidents just happen, but this does not feel like an accident. This feels like science at work, some sort of like crazy hyper pop wizardry. And I mean, this is what, like our fifth reaction or first listen on this channel. I mean, you guys know, like, I like listening to the other stuff, listening to Lord, listening to Chapel Roan. Like, there are pieces of music that move me, but so far to have 11 songs on a 15 song album just completely catch me off guard or shift me in some way is just crazy. It doesn't happen very often, even from some of my most listened to artists or bands. I'm just completely, I don't really know what to say. Let's go on to track 2. B2B, does that mean back to back? I'm gonna assume that's what that means. Let's go. Oh, that's synth. I was right. Dude, I feel like at this point we're dissecting like a video game soundtrack in an album. Like, this feels like a level of some game or something. But that aside, that synth bass is really well made. It's well compressed. It's got a nice thickness to it, but it also sounds straight off the analog. Some of these sounds don't sound like they're like off of a modern synth like Serum or Vital or even Massive. It sounds like they're like actual analog synths recorded and tweaked and then resampled and retweaked. And also the delay, the ping pong on the vocals as they're bouncing back and forth. So catchy. It's so catchy. We're going to get a build-up coming. We got the detuning going on. Now we're coming back up to tune. So what's happening there is it's a pretty common thing too. Is right here, if you see this little knob way over here, it's a pitch knob. So when you're playing with sounds in production, you can sort of like up them in pitch or lower them in pitch as you're using them. And that seems to be happening on a lot of these sounds in this buildup. Right there before the drop, it's like the whole reverb expanded really quick and then went back to no reverb. So like the vocal had no reverb, and then for that one word, it just went whoop. You have like a ton of reverb, and then it went away. I love it. I love automation. Fun fact, I actually used to hate automation. I used to never use it in my productions, and I feel like a fool looking back. It is such a useful tool. There's a reason why some of the best productions in the world have like not a ton of automation. Sometimes you can go a little too much with it, but for genres like this and for styles like this, it is so important to get that stuff dialed in. And you can just feel the amount of work put into it, the amount of thought that went into dialing. Oh, we want this here. We don't want this here. And it feels like Charlie and her producers just have so much control over the beat. Love the repetition of back as like an instrument, almost like the vocal chop kind of just became the instrument thing, and then just having all those other noises tucked around it was so satisfying for my ears. Let's go right into track 13, Mean Girls.
Yeah, it's 2 a.m. and she's out there in a sheer white dress, wearing last night's makeup, all coquettish in the pictures with the flash on. Worships Lana Del Rey in her AirPods. Yeah, she's in a
Worships Lana Del Rey and her AirPods.
gent, hedonistic with the gravel drool and dead eye.
Ooh, hold on. There's almost like a different vocal happening underneath the main vocal, and it's got like a radio filter on it, but it's acting like an instrument. Really cool.
She's anorexic and you heard she likes some people say it. Think you already know it, but you don't. This one's for all my mean girls. This one's for all my bad girls.
So that sound right there is called a hypersaw, and it's like it's a very popular instrument. You might hear it in the background of a lot of EDM songs to sort of build up the thickness of the melodic layers that you hear in it, but it's a very thick sound. It's good for stacking on top of each other. You can have like 10 of them on top of each other as long as they're mixed properly. And I like using them. I don't use them as much as I should, but that's such an iconic synth sound. Go hypersaws.
One's for all my break your boyfriend's heart girls. For all my tearing shit apart girls. This one's for all my mean girls. This one's for all my bad girls. This one's for all my break your boyfriend's heart girls. For all my tearing shit apart girls. Yeah, it's 4 a.m.
I liked right there how we went from these like, to be expected at this point, like hard synth arpeggios to like organic instruments. Those were like, that was like a harp or like a lute or something. It felt very organic, almost like an ethnic like world instrument.
She's out there with the razor sharp tongue stuck to skinny cigarettes, calls him daddy while she's fingering a gold cross. And she's kind of fucked up, but she's still in vogue. Yeah.
Oh. We get some ragtime? Why? It works? Really? I think it sounds kind of cool.
This one's for all my mean girls. This one's for all my bad girls. Break your boyfriend's heart girls. For all my tearing shit apart girls. This one's for all my mean girls. This one's for all my bad girls.
Can we talk about how instead of going back to the club hypersaw thing that we were just talking about, this thing turned into like ragtime and then became like a ragtime like house beat? Like what? And it actually worked with like the Autotune vocals. Explain that to me. Yeah, that one was pretty good. Let's go on to track 14. I think about it all. Oh, track 14. I think about it all the time. Ooh.
I think about it all the time, that I might run out of time. But I finally met my baby, and
Ooh.
a baby might be mine. Cause maybe one day I might, if I don't run out of time. What a joy, oh my, standing there, same old clothes she wore before, holding her child. Yeah, she's a radiant mother and he's a beautiful father. And now they both know these things that I don't. I think about it all the time.
So here we have a more lyrical song, and this feels more about like just time passing, people getting older, catching up with old friends type of thing. At least that's the vibe I'm getting so far. I'd have to really like read the lyrics to figure that out. But I like some of the textures that they're doing with her voice and making it sort of expand out the song a little bit. But it's a very slow, like kind of small song. And what I like about it is it's before the last song on the album. So hopefully the last one's going to be this huge banger. Let's listen to the rest of this one, though.
And I might run out of time, but I finally met my baby, and a baby might be mine. Cause maybe one day I might, if I don't run out of time. Would it make me miss all my freedom? I think about it all the time. I think about it all the time. If I don't run out of time, would it give my life a new purpose? I think about it all the time.
That vocal chop, it's like opening up the envelope of it. So it's going from being a very short sound to a very long sound using the power of automation. This feels like a bunch of little catchy voice note ideas that might have gotten tracked, and now they're like a collage. They're being like laid out over each other in the same key. What a cool way to end a song, with just like a big explosion of a bunch of little melodic ideas and like everything sort of coming together into the fold. Let's hope for 15 out of 15 on this album, because so far we're 14 to 14. I love all of these. Let's hope this last song doesn't disappoint. Stop. It's a reprise of 360. Let's see what's different this time around.
Okay. Here we go. When I'm in the club, dial 999. It's a good time. Who the fuck are you? I'm a brat when I'm bumping that. No, I wanna hit my track. Are you bumping that? Till the windows crack. I'll be bumping that. No, I'll never go home. Don't sleep, don't eat. Just
I love the repeating vocals. Are you bumping that? Are you bumping that? And it just feels like she's really driving the point home at the end of this album.
keep bumping that. When I'm in the club, yeah, I'm bumping that. 365 party girl. Shall we do a little key? Shall we have a little line? Wanna go real wild when I'm meet me in the bathroom if you're 365 party girl. French manicure, wipe away the residue. Push my hair back, look hot when I'm no, I really don't stop when I'm gonna jump when it drops when I'm down 999. It's a good time. Who the fuck are you? I'm a brat when I'm bumping that. No, I wanna hear my track. Are you bumping that? Till the windows crack. I'll be bumping that. No, I'll never go home. Don't sleep, don't eat. Just do it on repeat. Keep.
So we've totally ducked everything down, gave it a new build up. So it kind of uses a similar, it sounds like a different melody than the melodies that were used in 360, but everything's almost up like a half step. And then it's using like different intervals, different melodies to make it, still catchy, but like, feeling like it's a different song. And then they build it into this like acid house club banger thing.
My girl, should we do a little key? Should we have a little line? Wanna go real wild when I'm meet me in the bathroom. Down 999. It's a
What
good
is that
time.
low
Who the fuck
bass?
are you? I'm a brat when I'm bumping that. No, I wanna hear my track. Are you bumping that? Till the windows crack. I'll be bumping that. No, I'll never go home. Don't sleep, don't eat. Just do it on repeat. Keep. When I'm in the club, yeah.
Didn't I just say acid? This is an acid house or acid techno like synth. It's a very iconic sound. It's used in a lot of EDM and a lot of like house music specifically, and also breakbeat. You might remember it from like, I don't know, video game soundtracks back in the 2000s. It's a very popular sound. It's been in club music for like forever. And this is Charli's like brand new modern pop club take on it. And it sounds so good.
365 party girl. Should we do a little key? Should we have a little line? Wanna go real wild when I'm meet me in the bathroom if you're 365 party girl. French manicure, wipe away the residue. Keep.
So normally albums end with a sense of closure. That just ended with complete, pure chaos. And I'm here for it. I liked every single song off of that album. And I did not expect that to be the outcome of this video and this reaction. Wow. Thank you guys for recommending that I listen to that. I believe if I had to sum this up in one sentence, this is the pop album for the music producer. There's a lot to be learned from in this album when it comes to wanting to do something experimental, but also keeping your songs catchy, keeping them relevant, keeping them sounding very relatable. Charli definitely delivered on this. Her other songwriters and producers definitely delivered on this. This album has like its own genre, its own sound, I would say. And it's very inspiring. I really love that it didn't feel like just a hyper pop album. And that's kind of what I expected going into it, just based on what I heard before, what I was told about the album, and just sort of the soundscape around this album, like from like other artists kind of biting off of it and stuff like that. I expected it to just be, oh, it's a hyper pop album. It's, but it's more than that. It's like a big, giant musical collage of all kinds of different sounds from all kinds of different places. And it's all neatly packaged into one thing. The only thing personally is I wish that the ending I almost kind of wish that the ending and the beginning were flip-flopped. Like, I kind of wish that the album opened with 365 and that the album ended with 360. And my only reason for that is I wish that the album just had a bit smoother of a outro. But I get it. Like, I understand sort of the spiraling out of control feeling. And again, I'm not too cued in on the narrative of this album, so maybe you guys can help me with that, kind of like what you did with the Lorde albums that we covered on this channel. But wow, what an experience. I can already tell this video is just going to be so rough to edit because I just couldn't help myself from pausing. It's just, there's so much to talk about here. I'm definitely going to plan some sort of like dissection video about this. I'm going to try to do that with the Lorde songs too. I'll try to come up with a system to where we can make them very bite-sized, very accessible. Something where I can just sort of cough them out and you guys can sort of just like experience them as I'm sort of dissecting and figuring out what makes these songs work. Wow, what a great album. I'm just going to go under the favorites part of the description. I'm just going to put all of them, just the whole dang album, because it was just so great. But if I absolutely had to pick favorites, I would say Apple, I would say So I, Rewind, Back to Back, 360. I mean, Sympathy is a Knife. That is like my new gym song. Like, I'm easily putting that on my playlist. Club Classics. I mean, the whole thing was just great. I don't even know what to say at this point. I'm going to let the video speak for itself. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this and for helping me find new music and discover new music. This has been such an incredible experience. I'm going to try to give back and really come up with other forms of content that I can give you guys. Thanks again. I'll see you guys when we do Ceremonials, which is going to be next week by Florence and the Machine. And then maybe after that, we could do Magdalena Bay. And then probably FKA Twigs after that. If, again, anyone who's new here and who's watching this, feel free to recommend me some stuff that you want me to check out and I'll add it to my list. Let's keep it coming. You guys so much. Have a great rest of your day and I'll see you next time.